Secretary Fontes, you're one of the few secretaries of state who have addressed this issue I'm about to talk about publicly. I've heard it from many secretaries of state privately, but basically the gist of it is that you don't believe that the Justice Department is doing enough to help protect election workers in this country. I think the quote was the department was too worried about political blowback to protect election workers. I understand that Justice did monitor primary elections in Arizona last month in the Phoenix area. What else is it that you believe Justice should be doing in this area?
Well, I think the context really was about the way that they've been communicating about their work. They have been prosecuting threats against elections officials. They've gotten at least one conviction that I'm aware of against an individual who made threats against Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer, my successor in that office. The problem that I saw, and I still to a degree see a little bit of, is they're not out there celebrating these wins. They're not out there letting folks know as well as they can that this is illegal. You can't threaten folks in a free democracy for just doing their jobs. It is domestic terrorism when the definition of terrorism is a threat or an act of violence for a political gain. That's what this is. It's domestic terrorism. And I think they need to celebrate their wins and speak loudly about these investigations when they start them. We can't hide behind, this notion that some radicals in Congress are going to get upset and are going to cry foul. Justice is justice, and folks out there need to feel safe, and they need to feel like someone is going to be protecting them when they do these very important jobs. And Secretary Schmidt is right. There's a lot of folks out there who are stepping up to do these jobs. Is there still a little angst and trepidation? Yes, and that's why I think every branch of government and law enforcement ought to be stepping up and saying, look, we're going to make sure that if somebody does act this way, show up, and threaten voters or try to intimidate election workers, that they're going to get prosecuted because that's not something we want people to do. And it runs exactly counter to the American ideal. And so my criticism really isn't so much about whether or not they're doing it, because they are. It is about the way that they're portraying it publicly. And the Department of Justice, to their credit, has become a little bit more public and has started celebrating their wins a little bit more. So I'm excited about that. And I'm happy to amplify with them any of those wins because we are all at the